Hey guys, the Bobrovsky guy here, and this video is going to be on how to care for two robo hamsters. This video was actually requested by Guinea Pigs and More, so thanks for requesting the video. So basically this video is just going to go over some basic things that if you are planning to get a robo hamster, or any dwarf for that matter, a couple things that you might want to take into consideration, and I'll give you guys a couple of tips and tricks for how to care for them and kind of make them have a easier life and kind of more of a happy life as well. So these are all the things I'm going to be going over in the video. If you have any questions, you can make sure to post them in the comments about anything. I'll be there to assist you guys if you need any help as well. So let's get started. So basically the first thing that we are looking at here is a 64 quart bin. This one was picked up at Target for about $8 or so. It's a pretty small size bin, but it's not too bad for robos. They can tolerate this for a period of time, but I decided to switch pretty soon after to something a little bit more bigger. This will run you about $8 like I said, and it's a pretty decent size, not too small, not too big, but definitely if you have the money for something a little bit bigger, definitely try to check this out. But basically you really just need a regular size bin or a regular size cage that they'll be able to live comfortably in. So that pretty much goes for all hamsters as well. So let's look at the next thing. So the next thing we're looking at here is a couple of different wheel options. Basically what you want to have is pretty much the same two type of wheels. You don't want to have one flying saucer, for example, and maybe one of the silent spinners, because typically what ends up happening is one robo will tend to want to go on the silent spinner while the other one's already in there, so it can kind of cause a bit of confusion and also kind of pretty much ask for some fights to happen as well. So you really want to have two of the same type of wheels so there aren't any squabbles over who wants this wheel, who wants that wheel type of thing. So first I want to look at the 4.5 inch mini silent spinner. This one's pretty good for robos, but really what you want to look for is the 6.5 inches, because these can get pretty small at a period of time, especially when your robo is starting to grow and starting to get adapted to its surroundings. It may start to eat a little bit more, so you definitely want to be wary of the fact that they may start to actually arch their backs while they're spinning. So I ended up getting the 6.5 ones because my robos did start to actually have a little bit of an arch on their back, so that can cause some problems physically for them. So you may want to keep that in mind if you plan on getting the 4.5 inch, but these are only about a couple dollars more, so these probably not something you really want to look at unless you have like really small robos, but again, that's going to be a temporary wheel to use as well. So that one's that. So we have the 6.5 inch flying saucer here. Pretty good saucer. I mean, it gets some time getting used to. I had this in their cage for a little bit of time just so they can kind of get used to it. Not really the greatest wheel, but again, if you want to have something a little bit different that people don't typically have, this is a great option as well. And like I mentioned, these are the 6.5 inch wheels that are pretty big as well, so sometimes they can also run together on here as well if they're a little smaller robos as well. But this is also the pretty much the more recommended size wheel for them as well. So if you're looking for a silent spinner, definitely go for the 6.5 inch for all robos. So next we have the water bottle here. Pretty much every single hamster has to have a water bottle, so it's pretty basic that you just kind of get any water bottle really. Pretty much these are the Super Pet kind with the little rubber ducky inside. These will run you about $4 or $5, the mini sized ones, so it really doesn't matter too much about the water bottle, but just make sure that if you start to see that it starts to leak, definitely make sure you replace that, because you don't want to have soiled bedding, and that can be kind of uncomfortable to the robos as well. And just make sure that it's not leaking and you'll be pretty good for the water bottle aspect. So next we have the sand bathing area and sand. This is a pretty debated topic. Basically, some people will tell you you don't really need sand for your robos, you don't really need something that they can bathe in, but really it's kind of more a necessity than anything. I like to think of it that way because they really enjoy bathing inside the sand. They like to crawl around, sometimes even stash food. It's just kind of a cool area that they'll be able to hide around in and kind of experience something a little bit different than to the actual bedding that you'll be using. So this is a critter bath powder that you can find at PetSmart for about $6 or $7. Not really the greatest type of brand, but you can also pick up some really good ones like Reptisand by ZoomEd, and it's a pretty high quality sand as well. But this will run you about $6 or $7. You can just pop it into one of these little tiny plastic areas that'll cost you about $3 or $4, and just tie it around the bin or tie it around the cage, and you'll have like a little tiny sand area. I expanded mine a little bit more that I'll be showing you guys in the next couple videos, but this is just another option. So if somebody says no sand, I'd say definitely make sure to at least take a look at it and see if they enjoy it. But Robos definitely enjoy bathing in sand, and it looks really cool when they're doing it too. So if you have the extra dollars or so, make sure to pick up some sand for them as well. So the next thing we're looking at here are the hideaways. This is pretty much a very important part for pretty much keeping any two hamsters together. You really want to have at least two different hideaways, so one can sleep in one of them and the other can sleep in the other. But pretty much Robos tend to sleep together most of the time. I don't really find a problem with my Robos in terms of having, you know, areas to sleep, but make sure you have at least two, maybe even three areas that they can sleep in, just so there isn't any problems if they don't want to sleep together. But these mini igloos, again, these are about $4, so they're really not that expensive. If you want something pretty easy to clean, pretty easy to put in, and of course they'll enjoy using these as well. So make sure to have at least two areas for them to be able to sleep in and be able to rest inside. So the next thing we're looking at here is the food mix and the diet. Robos are pretty tough to maintain in terms of diet. I mean, they aren't prone to diabetes like most other dwarfs are, like Russian Campbells, Chinese dwarfs, but they do also really need a really important diet to them as well. So you can't really just be feeding sweets and all those types of things just because the Robo isn't prone to diabetes. So what I like to do is feed the hazel hamster food. I'm sure you guys have heard about this in my other videos. It's really my favorite type of food for any type of dwarf. So make sure you have something along the lines of hazel hamster. You really want that high protein mark because Robos, of course, need that protein. They're always active, so they really need something that'll fill them up really quick. I also like to use Missouri pellets as well as oxbow pellets, but I don't have the oxbow pellets with me, so this is just an example that you can use as well for Missouri. This may be a little bit tougher to find, but if you can't find it, just please don't go to the KT Forti Diet Pro pellets because they contain really high amounts of corn and it's really sugary, and you really don't want to be feeding that to any hamster at all. So make sure to have something that is a really good mix that both of them will enjoy and that really kind of won't have one piece of seed or one piece of thing to it, because you really want a large variety of things so they both will be able to get a good mixture of things that they like. So the last thing we'll look at here are the treats for the Robos. Basically, I just got a little tiny bag of the KT Fiesta Healthy Toppings Papaya treats. These are, you know, used across the hamster community, and it's also kind of a debated topic in terms of treats for Robos. Really, you want to look at something that's a little bit more nutritious, not really too high in sugar, not really too high in fat. You want to have something that'll be really healthy to them, but at the same time, something that they'll enjoy as well. So these Fiesta toppings, also, you want to make sure that you feed these sparingly as well. I like to give a couple of these every other day or so, just kind of scatter them around the habitat as well, which will work well with them so they can kind of encourage those foraging behaviors that they have. So make sure to have something that you'll be able to put inside the cage, and so they'll be able to actually find through digging and, you know, kind of like obstacles as well. So anything really like fruits, even fresh veggies also are very important to the diet, so make sure you offer those at least every other day. Try to avoid things like yogurt drops because, of course, they are really high in sugar, and if you feed too much, you know, you are risking a really fat and obese Robo. So make sure you have something that both of them will enjoy. I do recommend these, but of course make sure to feed those sparingly as well. So thanks guys for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Make sure to click the like button if you enjoyed the video as well, and if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe for new videos and upcoming things. I will be having the new cage setup tour very soon coming out, so make sure to check out the channel for that. And thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.